Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program will begin shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin.
Good morning. My name is Dyer. I'm Mayor Dyer's oldest son. I'm honored to be here with all of you today and to have the privilege of kicking off the State of the City on this special day, my dad's 60th birthday. You know, it's kind of crazy, but when most people turn 60, they go on a big trip or throw a party with their family and friends. But my dad's a little different. You see, he chose today for this event. He didn't take the day off or go on a trip or anything like that. And I know he did that because on this day, he wants to be in the place that he loves more than anywhere in the world with the people who make this city our home. Orlando has always been home for my dad and I, and we've both always taken pride in telling people this is where we're from. I'm proud to be from this city, not only because this is my hometown, but because of what we've accomplished as a city during my life. When I was in middle school, my dad became mayor, which is not the normal thing that happens to a middle school student. But from the first day that he said he was going to run for mayor, he told us he had a vision for Orlando, and that as a city, as a community, we could come together and do amazing things that would change our hometown forever. 16 years later, that vision has become a reality. We've gone from a city lacking in identity, and we flipped the script. Today, we are a bright and a growing city. We tout amazing entertainment options, a vibrant arts culture, an incredible food scene, and neighborhoods that grow stronger and more unique every year. My dad would be the first one to tell you that none of this was accomplished alone. We did this together, as a city and as a community. I'm proud to be from Orlando, and I'm proud of everything we've accomplished together as a city and as a community since my dad became mayor. So Dad, I know you're back there right now. I love you and happy birthday. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time this morning. It is now my pleasure to introduce the City of Orlando Poet Laureate, Susan Lilly.
Good morning, everybody. It's a great day to be from Orlando. and in Orlando. I have a poem for today that celebrates many things, and I hope some of it will touch some things you see and know about our city. It's called Together. Snapshots of Orlando, 2018. City of lakes, city of light, sky full of late day storms turning blue, then orange and pink, sunsets like time-lapse miracles, colors that swirl and layer up the horizon in all directions. It's high summer and we are busy. We always have been. And frankly, we look too young to have these historical sepia photos of a great-grandfather as a kid tying up a horse on Orange Avenue, someone's great-aunt standing between vases of flowers at a hotel reception desk, a Florida cowboy grinning from his saddle, a citrus beauty queen waving from a throne among orange trees, a head waiter inspecting the dapper staff in tuxedos, a boy in a rowboat on Lake Ivanhoe holding up a freshly caught bass. Today's snapshots are different, yet beauty endures. Kayaks cut through early morning fog among cypress knees and great blue herons. Joggers and cyclists speed along the urban trails as the day rushes ahead of us. The working city hums and speeds up. We are an engine, a ballet, a symphony, helping each other and going ahead together. Our fellow travelers are surgeons, artists, shopkeepers, cooks, students, therapists, researchers, caregivers, dog rescuers, IT specialists, dreamers, people finding their way, mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, everyone. If we have learned one thing, it is this: we cannot do without each other. We are pieces of a living mosaic. We herd preschoolers, fold laundry, deliver furniture or food. We hammer, mow, and paint, sing at retirement homes, argue in court, prep a patient for surgery. Today, a theme park princess drives to work, transforms underground to emerge in the magical daylight to the eyes of children. Downtown, an idea is born with pencils on a placemat over breakfast. An auto glass repair tech replaces a windshield at 10 a.m. as the humidity begins to wave its wand over lakes and land, parks and roads. A new teacher leans toward the end of summer and the start of new chances. A teenage volunteer teaches a disabled child to float. By the end of the day, there will be no counting the meetings held, miles walked, vows declared, coffee spilled, tears shed, meals served, plans built, problems faced, solutions proposed, compromises found, and birthdays celebrated. At least 1 million kisses, hugs, handshakes, and high fives. Together is how we make things happen. This is Orlando. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our mayor, Buddy Dyer.
Thank you for that welcome. I want to thank you, Susan. That was really an inspiration. We did pretty well on picking our poet laureate, didn't we? And thank you, Trey. I was hiding in the back, so I did get to hear that. And I think I could just stop here. That was a pretty good State of the City address. I don't know that I can live up to those expectations now. Sometimes, and I'm sure all parents get asked this sometimes about, do you get nervous? Somebody just asked me, do I get nervous when I give these types of speeches? And the answer is no, I really don't. I've been doing this for 26 years or so I'm pretty skilled. Well, I don't know about skilled, but I've done this a bunch of times, so I'm not nervous. But generally, you're nervous when your kids are doing something because it's out of your control. But I think I now know that if Trey's publicly speaking, I don't have to be nervous about that. I need to be nervous more about mine again. So thank you, Trey. That was fantastic. And thank you, everyone, for the many, many birthday wishes. And Trey's right. There's no place that I would rather spend my 60th birthday than right here with all of you. And one of the greatest blessings in my life is being a dad to my two sons. And not far behind that has been the opportunity to serve as mayor. And today, I'm fortunate to be turning 60 years old with my son, one of them, and all of you. And it's a day that is truly always special to me. It's the day each year that we get to examine the state of our city and celebrate our shared achievements and look ahead to the future. Now, anybody else in here 60 or above? Okay, so you know 60 is one of those milestone birthdays. All those with the zeros behind it, except 21 is a milestone. But like all of you, it's a day or a time when you reflect on where you've been and what lies ahead. And as I do that, I've decided to make a confession today. It's not that. Being the mayor of Orlando was never part of my life plan. Back in 3, I'd 10 years in the difficult, toughest police I've ever had in my career. Can you imagine losing to Charlie Crist? So I had planned to be Florida's Attorney General, but it simply wasn't to be. But I have to tell you, losing that race ended up being one of the very best things that's ever happened to me, because it gave me an opportunity to run for mayor. And I had represented most of Orlando, probably about 90% of it, as a member of the Senate. And at the time, this is another part of the confession, I had never set foot in our city hall. You imagine that, Mayor Frederick? I had never been in the building. Same for Mayor Frederick. So if we ever have an opening for mayor again, you might choose to ask that question then. But I loved our community, and I believe that new partnerships across ideological and political and jurisdictional lines could be what we needed, is what we needed to take us into the future. And I was encouraged by a lot of incredible people, a lot of community partners, and I took a chance, and we pledged to work together to make Orlando the best place anywhere to live, work, and raise a family. And 16 years later, I can't imagine being anywhere else. And 16 years later, I woke up like today, every single day, excited about our city and excited about working toward a better future with each and every one of you. And 16 years later, I can tell you that being mayor of Orlando is the best job in the entire world. So here's the thing. My story mirrors the stories of so many of our residents. Maybe Orlando wasn't part of your plan, but once you joined our community, once you discovered our diverse and vibrant city, you couldn't imagine being anywhere else because you found your place, you found your purpose, and it's here in Orlando, and you found a community that challenges each and every one of us to do our part to build a better tomorrow. So if you'll indulge me a birthday wish, okay? It's that we spend our time together today celebrating our city. So our theme is going to be simple and heartfelt. 60 reasons, got the 60 part right, 60 reasons that we love Orlando and we're excited about our future. For most of us, the connection with our city begins with where we live, our neighborhoods. We're so fortunate to have strong, diverse neighborhoods with great parks and great green spaces. They're the foundation of our quality of life. And we have neighborhood leaders here. Where are our neighborhood leaders? Would you guys stand up, neighborhood leaders? We love our neighborhood leaders. And we thank you for what you do every single day to help make our neighborhoods thrive. Because I can tell you, being president of a neighborhood association, that may be a thankless job if there was ever a thankless job. But know that we deeply appreciate what you do for our great neighborhoods. And we're in the middle of a major effort to make our great neighborhoods even better. This includes our mayor's matching grants and a lot of individual projects that add up to one big love letter to our neighborhoods. And this work might seem small when compared to some of those big announcements that attract all the headlines, but our neighborhood leaders will tell you that a new ballpark or a playground or even a sidewalk, Commissioner Sheehan, it's a big deal. So we're excited to start our list with them. So first up, number one, is our partnership with Florida Citrus Sports to renovate Lorna a new playground, sports courts, fitness stations, and a walking path. Next is Rosemont's Neighborhood Center, which serves 400 residents a day, and they're going to have a new gym. We're preserving the historic Grand Avenue Elementary School by turning it into a recreation center that will also include the Orlando Pottery Studio. And by the end of the year, we'll open 2 new parks in Commissioner Gray's district, the fastest growing area in our city, McCoy Park and Heroes Community Park. We'll add 50 acres of ball fields and playgrounds and trails. And a new one, Orange Robinson Park, will be a pop-up park, which will be a public plaza in our downtown. And if you listen to the name, you can guess where it's going to be, Orange and Robinson. And planning is well underway for the Under Eye, which is a unique urban community park underneath I-4. At the Dover Shores Neighborhood Center, we're expanding our youth and senior programming with relocated tennis courts and a new shade structure. And my dog Sammy can attest that Orlando is a pet-friendly city. Constitution Green Dog Park is so popular that we're adding a dog wash and lights for extended park hours. And through a partnership with Dr. Phillips Charities, we're going to build a state-of-the-art home for the Orlando Tennis Center in the heart of the new Packing District, which is near Princeton and John Young Parkway. And this live, work, play district will also have a lot of trails and green space. And when we talk about recreation, some of our most passionate residents are cyclists, our walkers, and our runners. And that does include Commissioner Sheehan. It's a big year ahead as we continue to build the Orlando Bicycle Beltway, which is an 8-mile loop from downtown to Fashion Square that also connects our Orlando Urban Trail and our new iconic pedestrian bridge over Colonial Drive. With all these, this next one was actually the applause line, so if you'll add, All these projects add up to an $80 million investment in our neighborhood infrastructure. Our neighborhoods are also powerful economic drivers, and they help create a unique culture. Think about your favorite restaurant or coffee house, or the places where we shop where the owner knows your name. These local businesses, our small businesses, are the lifeblood of our city. And 10 years ago, we launched the Main Street program to cultivate these businesses. In that time, we've helped create 1,000 new businesses, generating $1 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion of investment, and creating more than 6,000 full and part-time jobs. And our Main Street and small business owners have fostered a growing food scene that reflects Orlando's fusion of cultures. And the word is getting out. The New York Times, USA Today, and a bunch of other publications all declared that the thrills can be found not only in our famous theme parks, but at our restaurants throughout the city. East End Market, Mamak, Pig Floyd's, Haino's Bakery, Nikki's Place are some of my favorite places to visit. And don't get me started on our breweries. Following the change in our city zoning, we added to our original and only brewery at the time, Orlando Brewing, and now we have 8 breweries in our city and 2 more that are opening this summer. So we want more entrepreneurs to have their chance to realize their dreams. So later this month, we're going to issue the first round of grants for a new program to help grow technology and startup economy. Our goal, audience participation is always welcome. Our goal is to have more tech companies start here and stay here and thrive here, like Power DMS, Unikey, and Fat Merchant. That's also why we've launched our Permitting Express program, to make it easier and faster for small businesses to open and grow. In less than a year, we've helped nearly 300 local businesses do just that. And in fact, Commissioner Stewart and I just cut the ribbon at Oxford Eyes in Ivanhoe Village, which is a small business that went from application to permit in less than 3 days. How about that? Okay, if you're counting, that's 13. So we're going to keep going. Orlando is consistently recognized as one of the best places in America to start or own a business. And we want to expand that pro-business environment even more. And that includes everybody, from our youngest entrepreneurs, like the Paramore Kids Zone students who run Black Bee Honey, to our more established companies like Orlando Health that turns 100 this year. And by the way, that's where I was born 60 years ago today. The Orlando Economic Partnership has undertaken an initiative to raise the profile of Orlando's business community and show site selectors and CEOs from around the country the other half of it. And thanks to their work, 55% of corporate decision makers now say they intend to consider Orlando as part of their next move or expansion. Commissioner Ings' district is home to the city's largest employer, Universal Orlando Resort. Universal's growth has created 3,000 new jobs in our community, and that's just this summer. Later this month, they'll open a new 600-room hotel, Aventura. And Universal is growing film and television jobs by shooting 2 new TV shows using local talent, Deal or No Deal on NBC, and David Makes Man on the Oprah Network. You guys didn't even know I knew there was an Oprah Network, but KPMG's Lake Nona Learning and Innovation Facility is under construction. We'll bring more than 800 people a week into our community for training when it's complete. And speaking of innovation, more than ever before, a business-friendly city must also be an innovation-friendly city. I want you to think about this. In the last century, cities that embraced the interstate highway system, developed world-class rail hubs and seaports and airports, created a very distinct advantage, an economic advantage for themselves. And we're facing that same kind of scenario, but in a modern context. Cities that embrace self-driving cars, advanced wireless connectivity, energy and infrastructure advances, and so many of the other forward-looking innovations will set themselves apart. Cities that don't, they'll be left behind. And that's why we're developing a smart city roadmap to ensure that Orlando is a place where these types of innovations are tested and deployed, and where our residents and businesses can benefit from early exposure and adoption. When we talk about the future and our future workforce, the conversation is different now than at any other time in our history. And that's because it's so focused on the importance of education, which generates opportunity. Education is changing our city for the better forever. Our community had a dream about creating a pipeline for our kids to go from cradle to college, no matter what their economic circumstances are. As a city, we deliberately shifted the focus of our youth programming from athletics to academics with the goal of expanding opportunity for our most vulnerable young people. And the results are nothing short of amazing. Over the last 3 years, 200 graduates of our youth programming have started college. And we also had a dream of a downtown college campus that would help create the next generation of careers for the kids growing up in Paramore and also throughout our entire city. And that dream is becoming a reality right now at Creative Village, home to the new UCF Valencia downtown campus. In 183 days, to be exact. Anybody else counting? I see the president, he's counting. So 383 days, we'll welcome more than 8,000 faculty and students to our downtown. And none of this would have been possible without the partnership of UCF. And we are so grateful for the contribution that Dr. Hitt has made to this community. But we are equally excited to begin a new era of partnership with UCF through the vision and leadership of its new president, Dale Whitaker, who's with us today. Let's welcome Dale. Equally important is our partnership with Dr. Schugert and Valencia College, who will bring the Walt Disney School for Culinary Arts and Hospitality to downtown. Valencia is also responding to the region's demand for more sustainable jobs by pioneering Central Florida's first energy management degree program, a true green degree. How about that? So speaking of green, we're growing our reputation as the greenest city in the Southeast United States. We effectively run City Hall, all 17 of our fire stations, and our police headquarters on solar power. That's pretty cool, right? And now with the opening of OUC's new solar farm, more of our residents can power their homes with solar too. And we're working with more than 750 of our largest building owners to reduce the energy output from those buildings. We have a new partnership with Siemens that will allow us to analyze our data and leverage energy, transportation, and building technology to help us plan for our growth, reduce our carbon footprint, and create jobs. And over at the Amway Center, they have joined our food waste recycling program, and with their help, we're on track to turn 2.5 million pounds of food waste into energy just this year. Okay, who's counting? We're up to 22. So what else excites everybody about the future? You knew that I couldn't get halfway through this speech without talking about my favorite, sports. So everything that sports means to our community and our economy. The new home for Orlando City and the Orlando Pride, international matches at Camping World Stadium, and being in the running for the 2026 World Cup games, which I think we have a really good chance of being one of the host cities. But Orlando has quickly become the soccer capital of the South. UCF will defend its national championship this fall. Charge on. And, all right. See, that's spontaneous audience participation. We've got a new professional football team with a coach you might have heard of, Steve Spurrier. Go Gators. And Spurrier's not even here with his jersey, is he? We've got the Florida Classic and one of the premier college bowl schedules. And I'm really excited about the Magic's young talent. They're going to have a good year this year. And our Solar Bears are coming off a playoff season. In partnership with Central Florida Sports Commission, we'll host the Special Olympics USA Summer Games in 2022. We are the new home of American tennis with Lake Nona's USTA National Headquarters. They had projections on how many events they are going to have, and they've had like tenfold the number they thought they were going to have. It's pretty cool. We're also home to so many renowned golf courses, including our city's own, Dubstrat, and of course the Golf Channel. The NFL Pro Bowl is back for a third year. We're the new home for the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting at Full Sail University, and one that some of you might know about. We're home to the WWE Performance Center, where all the superstars are born. The power of athletics isn't just providing our residents with world-class sports and entertainment options. It's also generating millions of dollars for our economy and creating thousands of jobs. So, what else do we love about Orlando? How about the love we show for one another? The commitment to equality, to making Orlando a place where everybody is treated equally and everyone is welcome. It's reflected in our new Mayor's Committee on Multicultural Affairs. It's reflected in the adoption of the Trust Act with the leadership of Commissioner Ortiz. Thank you, Commissioner. The act will help build stronger bonds between the police and our residents and reassure undocumented immigrants that reporting crimes won't lead to deportation. It's reflected in our first multi-stall, all-user restroom in a government building in Florida, soon to be open at Orlando City Hall, and that will increase accessibility for transgender people and those with disabilities. And more than anything, our commitment is reflected in the way we treat one another, the way our city continues to support OPD Officer Kevin Valencia after he was seriously wounded in the line of duty, the incredible work that the One Pulse Foundation and the Orlando United Assistance Center are doing to continue to support the survivors and families of the victims of the Pulse tragedy. The new One Orlando Alliance that's working to unify and empower our LGBTQ+ organizations. And the work of the Holocaust Center, which helps to eliminate bullying in our schools. And we're looking forward to welcoming their new world-class Museum for Hope and Humanity to downtown. And the way our community rises to challenges that strike unexpectedly, like Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria. Our city staff and OUC work tirelessly to clear roads and restore power. And our Hispanic Office of Local Assistance continues to help evacuees rebuild their lives. And how about the contribution from women leaders in our community? Orlando Magazine recognized female leadership as the most powerful force in Orlando this year. And you want to know something cool? You want to know a cool fact? Women make up 2/3 of the leadership of the mayor's office. And of course, our one and only ambassador of love herself, Donna Dallas. What else could we celebrate today? How about our growing arts and culture scene and our philanthropic leaders? Harriet Lake embodied both. In loving memory of her, we're excited to work with the Orlando Ballet to build a new world-class campus at Lock Haven Cultural Park. Harriet's Orlando Ballet Center will offer new ways for our community to be entertained and educated through dance. And with the leadership of Michael Manello, we're expanding the Manello Museum of American Art to include more space for classes and ensure our residents have access to world-class traveling exhibits. Thank you, Michael. And through a legacy gift from Ford Keeney, we're making the Rogers Keeney Building, one of the most historic Victorian-style structures in Central Florida, into a permanent cultural facility, home for the Downtown Arts District. Thank you, Ford. From United Arts to the Orlando Science Center to Lou Gardens to all the venues at Lock Haven Cultural Park, next year we're dedicating nearly $4 million to arts and cultural organizations. So we're at 39 reasons right now. So we need a really good one for number 40. Let's think about it. What about this building? Our Dr. Phillips Center, seeing the construction of Steinmetz Hall in Phase 2 is the realization of a shared dream of our community that it's had for many, many decades. And that's a credit to everybody in this room, everybody who closed their eyes and dreamed nearly 20 years ago that Orlando could become a true arts and cultural destination. Thank you, Jim Pugh, and everybody associated with Dr. Phillips. So it's really wonderful to see all the love and excitement that we have for Orlando. But loving our city isn't just about the fun stuff. It's about working together to solve problems. And that's what we collectively do best. Homelessness has been a challenge for our region for decades. And we've made meaningful progress with our regional partners in Orange and Osceola and Seminole counties through our Housing First approach to help place 339 chronically homeless individuals and veterans into permanent supportive housing. And today, 96% remain housed in the housing that we put them in. And we've been recognized by the VA for achieving functional zero on chronically homeless veterans. But there is much work that we must do, and I'm going to tell you today that our government simply can't do it alone. The positive changes that we've seen are a direct result of private investment from the business community, including $6 million from Florida Hospital. And that's why with the Central Florida Commission on Homelessness, we're calling on other businesses and faith leaders to join the effort. And that's why we brought back our Downtown Ambassador program with an added mission of connecting homeless individuals with services and a system of care. And that's why we're partnering with Goodwill to create a pathway for the homeless to return to work. Number 43 on our list is making sure that everyone who wants to live in Orlando has access to safe, affordable housing. This issue is important, maybe one of the very most important. So we've added 2 city positions to focus exclusively on developing new policies and partnerships to help spur investment to create more housing options or bring rehabilitated housing online. And we're also dedicating $1 million in this year's budget for affordable housing initiatives. We've partnered with the Central Florida Foundation to establish a land trust in Commissioner Hill's district that will help boost the amount of housing the West Side residents can buy or rent, and to make sure that they're not priced out of their neighborhoods. This work is on top of our $15 million investment to acquire and rehabilitate foreclosed properties and turn them into more than 600 affordable units through our partnerships with Ability Housing and Lift Orlando. And we're working hand in hand with faith leaders like Bishop Wiggins and the Hope Church as they buy and rehabilitate residential and commercial properties to provide more affordable housing. And a great example of this, we cut the ribbon on the Hope Church's New Horizons project, was once a blighted apartment complex, boarded up, and now it's a model of not only affordable, but sustainable housing on the West Side. So transportation is another major challenge and one that impacts every one of us. And that's why we're so focused on expanding transit options across our region and making sure Orlando is front and center when it comes to the deployment and development of cutting-edge transit technology. Just last week, Sunrail opened its 17-mile southern expansion, connecting Orlando with Kissimmee and other communities in southern Orange and Osceola County. And we talk so much about the trains, but it's really about the riders. Carmen Oterio is a city employee who lives in Poinciana, and she ran up to me the other day in the elevator and said her commute from Poinciana to downtown has been cut in half, that Sunrail has literally changed her life. We've been designated as an autonomous vehicle proving ground to help ensure that our community is one of the first to see the benefits of this technology, and so that the industries that support AVs will grow here. Our airport expansion is underway. OIA's new multimodal center is already open, and it is beautiful. And tip from the mayor, you can park there and remotely check your baggage, and you can park cheaper and get in quicker. So if you got nothing else out of this, there was your tip for the day. And with less than 2 years, we're less than 2 years away from opening the new terminal that will ease congestion at the airport and bring our residents a bright line connection to South Florida. And when that happens, OIA will be the only airport in America with an intra-city rail hub connected directly to the airport. Our Central Florida Expressway Authority is expanding our road network to meet the demands of our growing population, and our partners at Lynx are working to make our bus system run on renewable fuels and electricity, and they're modernizing their route system. And if you want to talk about investment, I know there's a little congestion, but the investment, the I-4 Ultimate project is generating $1 million worth of work every single day. And all of this is just in time for Harry Barley to retire from his position heading up Metroplan for the last 22 years. So thank you, Harry, for your commitment and your vision to building a modern transportation network here in Orlando, and we look forward to working with his successor, Gary Huttman. Gary, are you here today? Yes. As we continue to focus on challenges, there's no more important challenge than keeping our city safe. Safety is by far our most important job, and it always will be. And over the last year, we've added 15 new police positions to meet the needs of our rapidly growing southeast part of our city. We've secured grant funding to add 15 new downtown bike officers to help keep our urban core safe as we host more events and prepare to bring those 8,000 staff and students to the UCF Valencia campus. In the year ahead, we're putting 10 new officers on the streets, and we're adding 15 new school resource officers to ensure that every public school in our city is protected by an OPD officer. Thanks to our neighborhood watch groups, residential burglaries are down more than 50% over the last 3 years, and we've invested in new computer-aided dispatch systems that'll integrate OPD and OFD and will increase efficiency and collaboration and enhance the safety of our residents. We're also investing in 3 state-of-the-art replacement fire stations in Rosemont, Baldwin Park, and Dover Shores. And recently, 12 new firefighters and a new tower rescue truck began serving the southeast part of our city. And over the last year, we've been evaluating best practices in providing emergency medical service and transport. And to provide the highest level of care in the most efficient manner, OFD will hire 29 new paramedics and EMTs for medical transport. And as I always note, our fire department's accreditations make it the most elite department in the entire country. Okay, we're getting pretty close to 60, so we're at reason number 59. And can I tell you what I love and what I hope our residents and businesses love and appreciate? That's the work our city government does to provide the best municipal services in the state while we continue to grow at a record pace, all while keeping our taxes low. Did you know that you can get all of these services for the equivalent of a large cup of coffee each day? And that's not one of those fancy cappuccinos either. Okay, that was supposed to be a really good. And I had to switch from latte because I kept messing it up in practice. And who thought cappuccino was better than latte anyways? Okay. So did you know that our employees are making it easier to access city services? So our digital City Hall initiative is about offering the services that people need from City Hall, but available on their time online, 24 hours a day, and starting this very day, 50 of our most requested services are available at orlando.gov. Not cityoforlando.net anymore, we're orlando.gov. And do you know who makes this all possible? Reason number 60, why we love our city employees. Our city family members, as we call them, the services we just described, and really everything that we've talked about today would not be possible without them. Our employees are everywhere, every day. I bet if you live in the city of Orlando, you passed at least 3 or 4 city employees doing their job this morning, picking up our trash, cleaning our streets, helping our businesses thrive, keeping us safe, and responding when we're in trouble, taking care of our kids. They build and maintain our parks and sports fields. They run our venues, and they do it all with a smile and with passion and commitment. And our employees don't always get the recognition that they deserve. So I want them all to hear it from their mayor today in this forum. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. It's a privilege to work with you every day as we serve our residents. Please, everyone, join me in saying thank you to our city family. And our city family also includes our great city commissioners. And I want to thank each of them who has been an incredible partner and visionary. Commissioners, would you please stand and be recognized? And everybody, help me say thank you to our city commissioners. Okay, that's our list. We promised you 60 reasons, and we delivered 60 reasons. But if we've learned anything from today's political climate, it's that you're allowed to be a little flexible when it comes to the facts. Especially when you're giving a speech. That's the only political thing in this whole speech. So that was a great list, right? But we haven't talked about all the quirky or special stuff that gives our city character. You okay if we go beyond 60? Have a little fun? All right, what else do we love about Orlando? How about art everywhere, including traffic boxes and storm drains? Our Sea Art Orlando sculptures, Jennifer Quigley and crew. Murals across our city, our cultural festivals like the Creative City Project, Immerse, the Fringe Festival, our Lunar New Year Dragon Parade, Arab Fest at Lake Eola, our annual parades for Veterans Day, MLK, Come Out with Pride, and of course our Puerto Rican Parade and Caribbean Fest. And our city's history with Greenwood Cemetery's Moonlight History Tour. You've been with Don? Recommend it. Our Wells Built Museum. And what about Jones High School's Choir and Wind Ensemble performing at Carnegie Hall? We celebrated our first iftar dinner at City Hall during Ramadan this year. Our Orlando Wetlands Park for all the birders. The Shuffleboard Club at Beardall Center. the legacy and leadership of our former mayors like Mayor Frederick and Mayor Crotty, who are with us today, and all our elected officials. Would all of you stand to be recognized, please? The hard of hearing other elected officials also are supposed to be recognized, congresspeople and dedicated volunteers, including those who are on our Council of Clergy, our Veterans Advisory Board, and all of our city boards, and our new designation just this week as a Purple Heart City. Or our unique events like Keep Orlando Beautiful's Trash to Trends, the Dinner Party Project, Nerd Night Orlando, Orlando Story Club, the Senior Prom at El Claudia Allen. What about some of our most famous residents? That's right, our Swans, we hadn't mentioned them. And who I think should have been Food Network's next great star, Orlando firefighter Manny Washington. All right, and everybody knows and loves them, but what about our world-class theme parks and hospitality industry? And one of my favorites, our new city flag and the process we use to make it. So, all right, here is the audience participation. So, anyone else feel the spirit and want to shout out something they love about Orlando? Go ahead. Let me have a witness. Anybody? Loud. All right. Those weren't plants. Anybody else? Just stand up and yell it.
We aren't finished yet. And we're going to do it, and we're going to keep being the best to show the rest. We are Orlando.
All right, big applause for all of that. So our poet laureate started it out today by saying, "This is Orlando." And her piece reminded us that Orlando really is America's new melting pot. We're a city of proud natives and those who moved here from other parts of the country or even the world. We're a city of people of different colors and races, different sexual orientations. We're a city of different political ideologies and different ideas about faith. We're a great, big, wonderful mix of people who don't agree on everything, but we do agree that Orlando is where we want to live, where we want to raise our families, and where we work to realize our dreams. And when it comes down to it, we're a city that seems to be able to do what a lot of people are unable to do in these days of political polarization. We work together despite our differences. And for this reason, the state of our city is strong. And that strength doesn't come from a new project or building. It doesn't come from a list of reasons why we love our city. That strength comes from all of you, our residents. And I thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you for all of your love and commitment to our city. God bless America, and God bless Orlando. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor. Pardon the interruption, but I've got some friends with me that found out this was your 60th birthday, so they want to come in and celebrate.
We are totally off script.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mayor. Happy birthday to you. What 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Now, if everyone would join us in the lobby for some cake. Mayor, if you cut the cake.